How's it going, everybody? I am Linkachu. Welcome back to another video. Today I am talking about Nintendo Switch games to get before they become rare. As you may or may not know, the Switch is 5 years old already, and if you're a video game collector or a Nintendo fan, you know that games, the longer a system goes on, there's so many reasons that video games after a system's life or near the end of a system's life become really hard to get, especially if you're a video game collector. You probably know. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Switch games that I predict that are going to become rare or hard to get after the Switch's life, or even during the Switch's life. Some of these games are already kind of challenging to get or becoming rarer to find. So I have a list of games that I'm going to talk about and why I think they're going to become hard to find, and games that you should consider adding to your collection if you haven't already. As you may or may not know, games become rare for a number of reasons and are hard to get or expensive for so many different reasons, whether it be the console didn't sell very well, the game didn't sell very well, it's more niche, it's rarer, it wasn't initially super hyped or didn't sell, wasn't very popular at its initial release, especially those games. The underdogs always become really rare and expensive. JRPGs are a great example. You'll see a lot of those in this video. This video is if for you might find games that you didn't know existed or you just completely forgot about or went under your radar. There's a number of videos or games in this video, so let's dive into it. Let's start talking about these games. I've got a whole stack here that we're going to talk about in this video today. So let's kick things off. These are some Nintendo Switch games to get before they become extremely rare. So the first one we're kicking it off with is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Fire Emblem Three Houses came out around 2019, and it is already, I feel like, becoming rare. It's not often that I go out and see it out on Switch or on store shelves in the Switch section. This game is an amazing JRPG. It's a phenomenal JRPG. It was highly rated. It's a lot of fun. It was my first Fire Emblem game and made me a fan of the series and made me more interested to play other Fire Emblem games. So I highly recommend this game. But as you may or may not know, Fire Emblem games are so hard to get. The 3DS Fire Emblem games, anything before the 3DS Fire Emblem games, are practically impossible to find and are extremely expensive. It's more, they are extremely expensive, costing you an arm and a leg and double what they went for MSRP. Fire Emblem Three Houses should still be going for MSRP in most stores and most locations, and you might even find it on sale on somewhere like Amazon or GameStop. I highly recommend getting this game now. It is starting to become really old. The Switch is, we don't know how long the Switch is going to be for, but I guarantee after the Switch's life or near the end of it, this will be a hard game to find. Jump on Fire Emblem Three Houses. It is an excellent Nintendo title. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great addition to the collection. The next one is Astral Chain. This was a game even I struggled to find up until recently. It was kind of the game that made me like, I need to make this video. This was a game that went completely under my radar upon release. This is a Platinum Games. I didn't even know this was a game made by Platinum Games. If you don't know, Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, Okami, and many others. Amazing, amazing titles. You can never really go wrong with a Platinum game. I'm excited to get into this game, try it out. Obviously, it's still sealed for me, which is crazy. I just got this game. But I had a hard time finding this for MSRP and even under. On eBay, it was going for above retail price, and I had a hard time finding it. I was able to find it through a site, another store site, P&P Games in Canada, which shipped to the US as well. I was able to get it through there, but it was a bit of a struggle to find this game for a good deal. So I highly recommend looking into this game if you're interested, checking it out. I hear great things. It was rated highly. So Astral Chain is another one you should get before it is far too late. Another game you need to get is Octopath Traveler. This is a really early Switch title. This is one of the first HD 2D games that I remember ever coming out. This game is great. It's excellent. It's a really beautiful JRPG. The HD 2D looks great. I think, obviously, Live Alive is probably the best HD 2D game we've gotten so far, but Octopath Traveler is great. I found it really difficult, but it is a great JRPG if you're a big JRPG fan. This game looks cool, art's gorgeous, the cover's sick. I highly recommend getting this game. It is an early Switch title, and I have a lot of faith that these games will become really rare and hard to find. They're highly promoted, but I feel like I don't see many people talking about them that often, and I think this game would be well worth your time, and it's a great addition to your collection. And I feel like this game is already becoming harder to find as of now, with Triangle Strategy and Live Alive being some more HD 2D games that they're promoting heavily, which watch out for both Triangle Strategy and Live Alive, which I think will also become harder to find. But Octopath Traveler, I highly recommend checking it out. Pick up this game. I think it'll make a great addition for your collection. It's a fun, gorgeous game on the Nintendo Switch, It is available across other platforms, but you want this for your physical collection, pick this up now. The World Ends With You Final Remix. This was a DS game ported to the Switch, and we now have Neo: The World Ends With You. This franchise is, I feel, really niche. I don't see many people talk about this one either. This was another game that I just remembered happened to come out, and I don't see this game anywhere, especially with Neo: The World Ends With You, which I think will also be another one to keep an eye out for. But this game is great. It plays great. It's got interesting controls on the Switch for sure, and it's really neat. Square Enix put out a really cool game. It's super interesting. I love the style. I love the art. I love the aesthetic. I love the story. From everything I've played of this game, it's excellent, and it's a great game. But I think it's a really cool game to have in the collection, and I think it's a game that will end up being really expensive or really hard to find after the Switch's life, or even later. I think right now it's probably harder to find already. I think this is one of those games that'll be a tougher game to find. Another one, this one more interesting, is ARMS. ARMS is, I think, like summer 2017 of the Switch's life, so very, very year one. This was a game that it sold a lot of units, but was not very well perceived. I think it's a really cute and charming Nintendo Switch game. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's got a lot of style. And especially with the ARMS characters being in Smash, having ARMS representation in Smash, I think this is a game that'll become harder to find, more sought after. ARMS is really interesting. It plays very uniquely. I think it's an interesting fighting game. I love the gameplay. I know that it's a little short on content, but I do think it's a neat Switch game that came out. And I think it's highly worth having in your collection, a game that you should check out and look for before it's too late, because this is another one that I believe that will go under a lot of people's radar as a great Switch title. I think it's a really neat part of Nintendo history, and I think it's an important part of Nintendo history, being the early Switch title, and now being having a character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I think is really important as well. This one is super niche. I completely forgot this game came out. I think this is one that will go under everyone's radar, as this was one I wanted when it first was announced, and it immediately went under my radar, and forgetting that it came out, was Rocky and Pocky Reshrine on the Nintendo Switch. This one's really niche. This is a remake of a Super Nintendo game, one that I was looking forward to. I fell in love with this game through an old PBG video. Very quirky, got a cute design. This game is already a super rare Super Nintendo game, and I think this will kind of just repeat history with being a rare Switch game, going on everyone's radar as a remake. Because it just released and I forgot it came out. I barely hear anyone talk about this, so I think this is a game that it would be very great time. It would be an amazing time to jump on this game and get now before it's far too late and becomes really expensive. Because I can see this game being something that people don't know about or don't talk about, and it becomes really hard to get. Another one, this is a no-brainer for becoming expensive, is Shin Megami Tensei 5. If you know anything about the franchise, it's probably that they're really hard to get. Within the lifespan of the 3DS, Shin Megami Tensei 4 became really, really expensive. So I think Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to follow suit and be really expensive as well. This game is amazing. Anything by Atlus is incredible. I highly recommend this game. If you can get your hands on either the Steelbook or the Switch Special, or the full Special Edition, or even just the base game itself, it's highly worth it. I think it's a really cool, interesting game. What I've played of it so far, I absolutely love. I really believe that this game will become a hard title to find, especially rare, and I think it'll be really expensive. Just based off of looking at any listing for any of the other SMT games, especially within the console's life, they become very expensive. I believe these games get torn off store shelves really quickly, so keep an eye out. Pick up Shin Megami Tensei 5 now, sooner than later. It's a great addition to your Switch collection. These two are two different games that I think will become really rare and expensive. First off, the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy 1, 2, and 3. This is the Japan import. Right now I think it's easier to get, but near the end of the Switch's life, I think this game will be far more sought after, and to already have to import it, but then pay near the end of the Switch's life, I believe it'll be incredibly expensive to get, especially as an import. It's fairly easy to get right now as an import, so I highly recommend jumping on it now. If you're interested in the Phoenix Wright series or have the collection physically, this is a great way to have it. Jump on this now before it becomes too late, because importing games after they're already past production and they're not really common to find anymore will be tough. And in the same vein, in the same boat, is the great Ace Attorney Chronicles is another game that I feel like flew immediately under people's radar. This in the same vein will probably be tough. It is not, you do not have to import this game, but the same thing, I think this will be a tough game to find later on in the Switch's life. I think it'll be rare. I think it's really easy to get right now. I think it's quite on sale, but at the end of the Switch life, get this. Before the end of the Switch life, get this game. It'll be a great addition to your collection. I think it'll make a great piece, especially if you're interested in the Ace Attorney games. I highly recommend picking this game up. And last but not least, Xenoblade Chronicles series. With the release of 3, there's so much hype for this game, but I just recently had a really hard time trying to find Torn of the Golden Country. This took me quite a while to find this game, and it was expensive. I ended up getting it at retail price, but it was really expensive. I'm looking at $200 just for this game, which sold for way under regular Switch retail price. I think it was only like $40 or something like that at retail, but I ended up getting it MSRP. I think it was like 60 Canadian is what it is. But not just the Torn of the Golden Country, which is really hard to find already. It'll be the rest of the franchise. 3 right now will probably be the easiest game to get, but also 1 and 2 I feel like are becoming tougher to find currently. So check up and get these games now before it's far too late. Having the entire franchise on the Switch is amazing. I think these games are very, very important in Nintendo's history. I think they're incredible games. Some of my favorite video games of all time. Get these games now before it's too late. That's my little list of Switch games that you should get now before it's too late. There's a lot of amazing titles in here and a lot of titles that are quickly becoming rare and expensive that you should jump on the boat now. These games are each to their own very amazing, and Astral Chain is sticking out because it's telling you, get Astral Chain. Get these games now before it is far too late. I've been Linkachu. Thank you so much for watching. Get these games. This is a warning. Get these games. If you have any more recommendations for games you want me to talk about, let me know. I'll definitely check them out. If you guys you want some more games, because there's plenty of games that I believe that'll become really rare and expensive after the Switch's life, or even during the Switch's life, let me know. I will definitely look into them and tell you guys about them so you don't miss out on these games. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Linkachu, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Linkachu out.